You are live. Great. Hello, good evening, everyone. I believe we're live. Let me just quickly do my usual checks just to ensure that everyone can hear me. And if you can actually hear me and see me, could you please send me a like of some sort? As you know, we are using a StreamYard platform, so it's not the Facebook live platform that we normally use. And I just want to ensure we are live. Just give me a second. Great. I think I'm frozen, but hopefully not. I'm frozen on my phone, but hopefully I'm not frozen. Anyway, let's begin. Well, ladies, welcome. Zhanna here from Slim by Nature. It's great to be here. I have been kind of missing in action, but at the same time, I have not been missing in action. I've been behind the scenes. And I'm glad to be back in the office and finally do this live with one of our guests and one of our ladies who is a member of Slim by Nature community. We've been scheduling this interview / chat for a couple of months now, and finally we're actually here and ready to go. I do apologize in advance about my voice. I'm coming out of the cold, but my voice is still struggling. So hopefully I'm not gonna lose it by the end of live. But before we actually go and jump into the interview, I really want to touch base on our challenge. So ladies who are doing Spring Detox Challenge, Dressed in Love, congratulations, you are at the finish line. And as incredible to say for me and to see, we always start with a big army of women, and it's not an easy challenge, it's not an easy path, and it doesn't go for a couple of weeks. It actually goes for nearly 2.5, 3 months. So congratulations, you are at the end, and tomorrow is the last day for you to share your stats, to share your reviews. If you have any feedback, make sure you post your final photos, and on Sunday I will be announcing the 3 winners of the challenge. We also, for the first time with this particular challenge, we have quite a range of gifts to give away. So we've got a few sponsors that did come to play with Slim by Nature, and we're going to be sharing beautiful hampers for each participant or the winner of the challenges. Now, also just a couple of other things that I need to remind you. So we are running the 30% off store-wide. So the code is still active. Today is the last day, and the code is black 30, and just use it at the checkout, and it will give you 30% off store-wide. We don't normally run many deals, but like Black Friday and Cyber Monday is something that everyone is doing. So we're definitely jumping on board and sharing this code with you. So 30% saving off store-wide is a good deal. And even if you're not planning to start in the next couple of weeks, and I think it would be quite impossible to start in December, but if you're planning to do around in January or February, please make sure you actually take advantage of this offer. Black 30, so that's the code. Again, hopefully I can see some commentary. Hello. I can't see the names through this platform, but I can see Facebook users. So whoever is there, good to see you. Hello, ladies. Tell me where you're from. Tell me if it's your first time. Again, as I said, unfortunately, I can't see the names. And tell me if you have been on Slim by Nature program prior, and what you've achieved so far. But just to tell you a little bit about what's been happening with us. So last week, Slim by Nature, we went away for a retreat for three days, Tuesday to Friday, 4 days, with Osmompreneurs. And we came back and we actually received gold award in multicultural business excellence. So it was incredible for me as a business owner and as a woman, just to be there and to be actually amongst other business minded and like-minded women, and just to be amongst women was incredible. And I think it's, for 1 second or for a couple of minutes, I actually thought it almost feels like I'm in the community similar to ours. It was quite warm and welcoming and very inspirational. So I really hope, oh, Natasha, I can see you. I can see your name. Thank you, Natasha. So I really hope our community does deliver the same warmth as what I've experienced, because normally when we actually behind the scenes and we're managing the group and nearly 7,500 women and many customers, sometimes it doesn't feel the same. But when I was with these women, I think there were about 75 at the end, and at the awards night there were about 80 people altogether. It was really lovely. It was really lovely to be amongst women. So I did actually miss that belonging, and I came back fully recharged, a bit unwell, but very inspired, and it gave me that boost of energy to keep going and keep doing what we're doing, because again, it was just so apparent to me that we as women, we need support. We need to feel great on many levels about ourselves, so we can actually create goodness and create and continue on with what we believe we need to give to this world. So it was beautiful. And then also last Friday we were finalists. Unfortunately, I didn't make the Friday breakfast. It was the very next morning. And we were the finalists for the Women in Business. And I think we got the awards for making change. So that was exciting. And the week prior that, we went to Gold Coast Business Excellence Awards, and we were also the finalists there. So a lot of recognition, but again, without you guys, there wouldn't be us. I always say that. I knew that for me, running a business is natural. I love it. I love the game. I love the thrill. I love everything that comes with it. But my mission was to actually get connected to the right people and to help me to bring that vision to life. I needed the right people, and I think we're doing really well in terms of getting the right people on board who can support you. We are again talking about delays and everything that's happening. But we are at the final stages of releasing one of our new products, and hopefully it will be released before Christmas. Again, I'm very hopeful, but at the same time, I know I'm a perfectionist. So before it gets released, we have to ensure everything is 100% so you can get the best out of this particular product. So once it's live and ready, you'll hear about it. And it's something that we've been working on for many, many, many months. Me and Chelsea, we've been working the idea was born many years ago, and slowly we've been building and getting the right info and right little details and chapters to bring it and mold it and deliver it to you. So I will be sharing once it's ready, and I hope you will love it. I really hope. It's so important what we've been doing. But today, as you know, and you probably have seen in Facebook groups and on our socials, I'm chatting to one of the ladies who's, as I said, a member of Slim by Nature community. I had the pleasure of meeting Theresa a couple of years ago through, again, one of the awards that I've attended. And Theresa Mitchell is a founder of a charity, Agape, and what they do, they actually help homeless people. And when we talk about homeless, it was interesting because coming from a third world country, so to speak, coming to Australia, you don't think that homeless is an issue, and you don't actually see it, and you don't think about it because you don't see it. But it was interesting for me to learn over the last 2 years, and to hear the stories, and to witness what Theresa been doing over the years. And I think she's been doing it for over 10 years now. How important and important this particular issue is on our streets. So I will bring Theresa to the stream now, and we'll be having a chat. We'll be chatting about her mission and what she's been doing in her life, but also we'll be touching on her own Slim by Nature journey. And hopefully that chat will inspire you not just around to go and jump on a program, but actually to give you a little bit of insight of what's happening here in Australia, where you wouldn't think it is actually alive and happens. So let me bring Theresa to our stream, and let me just quickly make it large. Hello, can you hear me, Theresa?
Yeah, hi Zhanna.
Hello, hello. So it's amazing to have you here, and I know we've been planning this live for months and months, and life gets in a way, and we're both busy and things do come and into play, and but I'm glad you're here. So I think I'd like to start with probably your introduction, and tell our community and our platform what you do, where you're based. And I think for me is also interesting to know what your day looks like. What is the normal day for you?
Oh, I don't want to scare everybody that early on. So, I'm the founder of Agape Outreach Inc. So, working with the homeless and needy, and we're based in Tweed Head. So, basically, we operate with meals on the street between Byron Bay, New South Wales, and we go as far up as Runaway Bay in Queensland. So at present, we're doing about 700 hot meals on the street per week, and we have about 150 people visit the centre every week looking for food support. Food insecurity is huge amongst people out there, particularly our senior population. So if you've noticed any of the rent rises, housing, inaffordability, how expensive things are. If you could imagine a person on a payment, a social security payment, they just can't afford the rents that are out there anymore. And if you're a senior citizen, well, it's very touch and go every day as to whether if you don't own your own home, if you're in a rental, about having to move out, not being able to afford food, paying all your money into the rent to keep a roof over your head, not having electricity. All of these things are reality for people. And then, of course, we've got more and more families living in tents. Through a centre in Tweed, we have an op shop, which is our only source of regular funding. We have case management. We help people find housing and whatever else needs are in their life. There's people that walk in the door have multiple needs. So if you're talking about poverty, it's not just maybe housing, it might be food, and then of course it's nutrition, it could be medical, all of these other things as well. So that's what the case managers do. They help people with that. We have showers and laundry access. We have hairdressers come in every couple of weeks. We have a psychology department. We have drug and alcohol support classes. We do also training classes, everything from barista, cooking, nutrition, all of those types of things as well.
Wow. So so everyone, when you talk about case managers, they're all volunteers?
Well, we have over 200 volunteers, and we've just got last week, our fourth employee.
Oh, wow. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
very
Amazing.
exciting. Yeah.
Yes. And so how did it start for you? What brought you over the line to get there and start something like this? Because it's not easy, and it does require a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of emotional strength as well.
Yeah. For me, I believe it was a God given vision to not keep walking past a person on the street and do nothing about it. And at that time, I was working in the church. I'd become an ordained minister, and I wanted to help the homeless. I was also a single mum at the time. And I just couldn't find the support I was looking for to help people and to help in a non conditional way. So, agape means unconditional love. And to me, it's as simple as if someone's hungry, give them food.
Mm.
Don't put a tag on it. Don't put a requirement on it. Don't say you have to look for work. If someone's hungry, just give them food.
Mm.
So, and that's the way Agape's run. We have a lot of scenarios where, we don't need pension cards. We don't take that. We don't require that. And I'll see scenario after scenario where maybe like it's a DV situation, or a woman's gotten divorced and the bank accounts are frozen and she just can't get any help or any finances for X amount of time. Centrelink payments can take anywhere from 6 months to a year to come through. How does a person survive in that time on nothing? So, and then they can come to us and we will give them support. But being a non-funded organisation, it means it's really hard for us to keep supporting such high numbers in the same token as well. So, but not unlike yourself, I believe a lot of us have entrepreneurial spirits, that we have something gnawing away inside of us that we need to do something about it. And it really is just going, well, this is the first thing I can do. Let's step up and do it. For me, it was baking a meal, walking down the street and saying, who's hungry? 12 years later, we've got a $1.5 million building that we operate from. We've got vehicles. We've got 200 volunteers. We've got 4 employees. We're aiming to do tiny housing living estates. We've just launched our stories from the streets. You just need to go, well, this is how I can start.
And when you decided to do that, so did you share your vision with anyone else, or you just, like you said, I just wanted to cook and I walked down the street and asked the question? And
Yep.
then how did you attract the like-minded people? Were you walking day and night about and talking about it to people? Because as entrepreneur, and once we have the vision, and I can sense the same kind of DNA, we have the same DNA. Once we have that vision, all we do is talk about it. All we talk,
Yeah.
all we see, everything just kind of comes into place, and everything else becomes secondary.
Yeah,
So is that how
definitely.
you attracted your tribe?
Yeah, definitely. No matter what you do, there'll be negativity. So as I mentioned, I was a single mum when I first started this, and the feedback was, you're a single mum, stop being stupid, that's dangerous. But for 2 years I listened to that, and it gnawed away and burnt away inside of me until I just couldn't ignore it anymore. So I think sometimes we just have to follow our gut and say, let's find a way. It really is about being resourceful. You don't have to know how, you just have to be resourceful enough to keep looking.
So 12 years, you've got all these amazing volunteers. You've just released a book.
Yeah,
And for me, so when I was reading the book, again, as I said in my introduction, homeless. What is homeless? You expect, and just like you describe it in the book, it's an old man sitting in the gutter somewhere or pushing a trolley, like looking dirty and smelly. And that's what my understanding of homelessness was. And because I don't see them, or maybe I see them once a year somewhere in a surface paradise, and I see one man that I remember and I keep seeing him second time, maybe 6 months later, he's still there. So to me, it's not apparent that we have a problem in
yeah,
Australia, right? When I was growing up in Latvia, and from a young age, we used to go to church, and my great grandmother, used to say exactly the same words. If they're asking, you should not ask why. You should just give them if you have that, whether it's a
yeah,
coin, whether it's bread, whether it's whatever it is. So on the way back from school, I remember I would always, to catch a tram, I would stop by the church, and whatever I had, I would give. And it was because I thought they're homeless, and they were homeless, but there were so many of them. They were on every single corner. You are literally surrounded by the old ladies, old men. You don't see young men or women on the streets begging unless they are quite disabled and they really need help. So coming to Australia, there was not even a fact of the matter that I see that. It was not on my radar at all until I have met you. So,
yeah,
and when you start actually reading about what is homelessness, and for me, what I had a little sadness, but also it shocked me. I There were times where I was homeless, but I didn't treat myself as I was homeless. But I was in a situation where I was escaping domestic violent relationship. I was a single
hmm,
mom, and I had nowhere
hmm,
to go. And I was so embarrassed to go back to anyone, because you're not supposed to be in that situation. You're
Yeah.
not, you're educated, you're smart, you have a job, but at the same time, you have no place to go
Yeah.
because of those circumstances. So when I actually read, it really alarmed me that, oh my God, we don't see them. You never know who you may interact with on a street, in a shopping center, with a child, without child. And I mean, I remember a very, and actually I didn't remember until I'm speaking about it right now. I remember a situation where I didn't have a car because I was, um, everything was taken away from me, right? So I had
Hmm.
no place to go. I had even nowhere to, I couldn't sit in a car and drive somewhere. So I actually got to a car yard and I knew the guy and I said, this is my jewelry. I need a car. And he looked at me and he gave me the car. It was
Wow.
many years ago, but honestly, I just remembered, and it's emotional. And you know what? Many times over the last how many 15 or so years, I do remember him, and he's moved, and the car yard or the car yard is there, but the guy is not there. But the warm feeling and the warm, because really in that moment he was the one who gave me not the food, but he gave me the mean to do something.
He gave
So
you hope back.
exactly. So, and
Yeah.
when I read that, it really opened my eyes that we don't know what we don't know, and once we know, we'll be more mindful of it. So, um, do you have many women that you work with who go through that? And I know domestic violence is on the
Yeah.
rise again with all the lockdowns and everything. So,
Yes. Yeah.
what's the way? I mean, do you offer them? What do you do? What do you do in this situation? What is
The
the
sad
process?
reality is that there isn't housing and that there isn't the funding to support
Mm,
the need that's out there. So refuges are always full. There's only a few of them. So,
mhm.
and there's all these different rules that make life hard. Take, for
Mm.
example, if you had a young boy, if that boy was 14 or over, you wouldn't be able to take that boy with you to a refuge.
Yeah, I read
So,
that too.
yeah. If you have pets, there's only one refuge on the Gold Coast that takes pets, and animals are used as a tool to stop people from leaving.
Yeah.
And it's very sad. Pets are in some cases people's children.
Mm,
So it's there's not enough refuges. There's poverty's getting more and more in increase, and as poverty increases, so does domestic violence. So elder violence, so youth, and like you said, you could be walking past these people every single day and not even realize because they don't fit the stereotype of what you would see as a homeless person. The youth are out there, but you're not seeing them because they're couch surfing, they move around a lot more, they're not on the street begging like an older person would be. So
mm,
you'd be surprised at how many kids, maybe from the age of 10, are out there at midnight on the street.
mm,
So it's a big need that needs a lot of support, but there isn't money getting thrown into it. And it's really not providing housing. As you can imagine, we can give food, we can give psychologists, we can give mental health support, we can do a haircut, we can start to give hope back. But until we can put a roof over a person's head where they can feel safe, their life doesn't start to change.
because housing, this is something constant. This is
It
something that
is.
gives you security.
Exactly. Yeah. So we do have to change that. And for that, I believe the Australian government needs to lighten up on their building laws. So to allow alternative means of housing, whether it be tiny housing, living estates, there's lots of talk about these, what do you call them, cargo ship container housing. We've got very strict, stringent rules on what's permissible with housing here, and it really needs to lighten up to be able to provide more affordable alternatives. So $450,000 for a starting price for a house isn't reality anymore. If you're looking at $450 a week rent, but then an unemployment benefit is $530 a fortnight.
Yeah.
And so we do have to have something change in that factor. Of course, food is a necessity, and to me, giving hope back, even if it's just from a smile, is so needed. Like in that scenario that you had in your own life, just to have somebody stand beside you would make a
Mhm.
difference.
Without questions,
Yeah.
just leaning a hand. Mm.
Yeah, so that's what we do, and being non-funded, we have to sort of do things as one step at a time as we can, but we are helping hundreds. But sadly, it's not going to go away tomorrow.
No,
But
it's
that
not.
doesn't mean that if I didn't have millions of dollars, I wouldn't throw it at it and make a big difference.
Mhm. So, what is the main way for us, just I suppose for ladies who will be watching maybe tomorrow, and
Mm.
we do wrap up the views over the week. So, if anyone is watching, and what is the best way to help? The
Okay.
the
Um,
easiest way.
Well, support, get on board, put your hands in action, or support financially, or support in any way that you possibly can. Organisations like ours, because every little thing makes a difference. As you mentioned before, we've got the book out, Stories from
Mhm.
the Streets, and this is individual stories. Look at that. Individual stories that I've encountered over the 12 years of being on the street. And it's everything in there from domestic violence through to seniors with terminal cancer.
Mm.
Um, it's about education. If we can educate the public that it's not a stereotype, it's not a dull bludger out there on a surfboard,
Yeah.
not wanting to work. It's parents, it's families, it's grandparents, it's all that type of stuff. So, if people can come on board and volunteer their expertise and their skills, or if they can purchase a book, they can help financially. Christmas is this close, and we have had to cut back. Normally we would help 450, 440 people every Christmas. COVID has made such an impact with us. The border lockdowns has made such an impact on us financially, with businesses closing and getting less support. We're aiming to help 150 this Christmas, and it's depressing to have to go backwards, but that's all we can do. $25 will buy a Christmas dinner. So, but that's what we will start with 150, and if we get more on board, we'll grow from there.
Mhm.
Yeah, people need help.
And for those who, for example, obviously with money, it's hard to actually physically donate. But if they have, like I know women who have food growing on their land, and
Yes.
they're willing to bring boxes of whatever they have. I know women actually. One of my best friends, and she is talking about helping to put brains together and help those in need who have ability. Sometimes we say it's best to teach them how to fish rather than to give
Hmm.
them fish.
Hmm.
So we are putting together something where we can put our expertise, our lending hand, to teach them to do little things for themselves and to
Yeah.
open, because a lot of people in that situation, A, they're depressed, that B, they don't see any light. And yes, they might have you and they might have your
Mm.
angels around them, but at the same
Mm.
time, they're so scared. Like this guy as well in the book was, he would commit a crime just to go back to jail because it was a safe space for him, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So what if there was something, I don't know, a little workshop, but not one, a consistent,
Yeah.
something on a consistent basis where they would feel and learn. And all they need to do sometimes, because I'm sure amongst those people there's someone like us, well, I was there, um, who would be able to, if you lift up the curtain, they would be able to maybe see the light at the end of the tunnel. But they just need a little bit of push and a little bit of hope, a little bit of dreams to make them maybe a bit colorful rather than not having it all. So I will be chatting to her, because this is something that we've been talking for the last, I don't know how many months.
Yeah.
um, and she has the means. We have the I think it means it's one thing. I think we have the desire to do that,
Yeah.
to do something.
Yeah.
So I think we can start with that. But even that would probably allow some, even if it's 1% out of them, to go out of the street and start something. Or I don't know, start something to help them get through that.
Being accepted is just such an important thing, and we can
Exactly.
underestimate it. That's why we do the training classes. To run a barista class, it might run for one night, but have someone come in and learn how to make a coffee and spend an hour or two doing that, and then we've had a scenario where we had somebody walk in and say, I want to buy a coffee, that one will do, and they bought the client who just made the coffee's coffee, and they just the light in their face and lit up, because not only did they do something positive and learn something, but somebody wanted it.
Mm,
So, the thought to be accepted and included and to succeed in something is huge. Now, it may not be relevant to take something and go and, make money for it, particularly for some of our senior citizens and,
mhm.
domestic violence, because, there's too much trauma there to work with. But
Yeah.
there's every scenario there, and there are people that will engage, and those people will they benefit from being a part of something in a positive
Mm,
sense.
mm. Yeah, it's incredible. It's interesting because, as I said, when you kind of sit and talk with yourself, in your little head, and you have excuses, I have not enough time, or yes, but the money should be going to someplace else. But when you actually talk about it out loud, and
Yes.
when you when your thoughts come into out of you, and you have a dialogue, it becomes really raw and really real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And I would encourage you to hang on to that, like we were talking about at the start, that I
Sorry.
believe we've all got this little fire that starts inside of us.
Mm.
Too many people let it out. They let it die down and let it dull. You
Yeah.
know, Life begins when we're challenged. So I really
Mm,
do believe that we need to take that thing that moves us and we need to do something with it.
mm, mm. And honestly, also, again, I'm being philosophical, and I have been philosophical for the last week because I think I'm coming out of this women's tribe, and I'm very emotional. I'm very in that
Yeah.
energy, not just the running the business for the last 12 months, with my little, um, but I forgot what I was going to say. But as you said, that fire, that we need to kind of keep riding it. And I
Hmm.
think the more, again, going back, the more we talk about it and the more we share, um, the more beautiful things will actually come out of it. But also with everything that's happening, that's my idea. I just got my thought back. So great. With everything that's happening, we are more humble. Our hearts are more open,
Yes.
right? So we
Yeah.
we do see quite a lot of anger and aggression through media and in the world, but at the same time, on the ground amongst people, there's so many people who are actually genuinely willing to help. So
Yeah.
I think it's just word of mouth. I think it's just opening and delivering that and using the voice that we have and
Yeah.
delivering that message and sharing and not being ashamed, because a lot of times we as human beings, we want to achieve for us, right? We
Mm.
want to achieve our goals for us, for our family, and then there's a small percentage that is probably increasing on a daily basis that want to do good for others, and those
Yes.
percentages that could do massive changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really would encourage people to be proactive. So,
Yeah.
from a charity perspective, I hear so many people go, "Oh, I give to this one and I give to that one," and you know what? They throw dollars at something and they have absolutely no idea where it goes
Mm,
or what happens with it. And then I hear all this, "Oh, I just don't trust charities anymore," and I don't want our charity to be looked at like that. Whenever we have a business come on board, whenever we have people say, look, I'm interested in being involved, I encourage them to get out there with us. So we had
mm.
best friends pets put their hand up, and I said, right, come out on the street with me and look after the homeless pets. So for 1 year they committed to providing the wormers, the tick stuff, the dog food, the toenail cutting, all that type of stuff out. We had vets separately, but for all the staff come down for 1 year and we're involved with the homeless pets doing that.
Oh, that's
So
incredible.
yeah, I have a doctor's surgery that when they have when they're not flat out under COVID, send their receptionists down one a week to help cook for the homeless. To me, the more proactive people are, the more compassion they're seeing in action and the more fullness of life they're feeling,
Yeah.
because you really want to be involved. So,
Mm.
it's very different to chuck money at something. I'm not saying don't do it, but at the same time, consider being proactive within it, no matter what it is.
Mm. Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. And again, for me, just talking and hearing that from you, it just puts a very different perspective, a new perspective on what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also think for families who are um, in a comfortable living today with kids, I think it's important to show the kids what's happening so they're actually aware of it and not being sheltered. We, as parents in today's world, I mean, I've got a 7-year-old and I'm a helicopter mom, I'm worried around her so much. But at the same time, even today, when I was telling you I had a car accident, I didn't tell her when I picked her from school. She didn't see the back of the car. And I'm trying to protect her, to keep her in this little bubble. But at the same time, and I had a conversation while I was driving. Is it good for me to actually talk about it so she knows things happen in the world, so she's not being sheltered and being kept in a bubble? So it would be great to bring the kids to the streets and show them as well.
I was a foster carer when I was a single mum out on the street working, and I took my foster kids down on the street with me as well. I had up to 5 children at a time, my own and foster kids. So I believe in the tribal effect, that it takes a
Mhm.
community to raise your children. And I
Mhm.
do believe that they need to see you in every circumstance. They know it's okay if they can see you handle it okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
So
love
if
it.
I had a negative interaction with somebody on the street, I wasn't concerned about the kids because I knew that I could keep them safe, but I knew that they would benefit from seeing how I handled that.
Mm.
Just like your daughter will benefit from seeing you handle a car accident okay. It
Mhm.
won't be such a big deal when she knows mum can do it, I can.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, amazing. Well, we'll definitely be in touch. And as I said, my little brain is on fire already. I will
Yeah,
introduce you to my friend. You will love
yes,
her. She's
yeah,
actually not far. She lives in Nirang and she's on a mission. So
yeah,
she's on a mission. So that would
yeah.
be great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Also for our community as well. Slim by Nature. I mean, we did our little job, and I think we pre-ordered the books some time ago before they were even in print, and we've
yeah,
got 50 of these books. And what I've decided is, I will not give them away. Like, remember, I was saying I will give them
yeah,
away. I will not give them away. I really want people who are interested to receive the book for free. So if you are interested to learn more, and as I said, the many more people will be watching this live tomorrow and over the next couple of weeks,
yeah.
and I'll be talking about it and I'll be sharing this particular live on our socials. If you are interested in some way to help or learn more about it, all I want you to do is when you place your next order, I want you to put I haven't decided, but I think I will put in a post whether just one word in comments, and we'll include this book for free for you, because I think it's a valuable asset. It's something that has to be given to those who are ready and want to read, and something that they will open and will actually take it further rather than just put it in a bookshelf and not ever open the book. So I will post in comments below what you need to do to receive this free book. But I believe you managed to get into Big W or Kmart, so you can also purchase them from the big stores. How did you go with
Well,
that?
the distributors of putting it out there, but I'm not sure where they are because each of these stores make the decisions independently as to what they
I
take on in
see.
books and not.
Mhm.
So we've paid through a publishing package for distributors to put it out there, but I can't tell you which stores they're in.
Yeah, yeah.
So it
But
could be
but
bookstores,
even
could
just
be.
to take the book to the stores, it's amazing work. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a whole business on its own to get the book through the store. So you've done incredibly
definitely.
well. It's
Thank you.
beautiful. But I
Yeah,
will, as I said, read a book, and I've read the book, and it did. it did move me to those deeper layers that I almost forgotten
Yeah.
about. And it was interesting. Yeah, it did awaken those certain emotions. So, and as I said, we're on fire. um, and also, for those, is today the last day to nominate a woman of the heart? um,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So that'll
So,
finish
ladies,
tonight.
yeah, so tell us about that, because as I said, I was really blessed. And I think last year I got an award for Entrepreneur of the Year, and this year I received a People's Choice Award, which was so interesting, because I don't know if you remember, but my little girl was with me this year.
Yes. Yeah.
And uh, I think when she realized we're not the winners, she was just in tears. And I said, "It's okay, it's fine. We're in finals, and look, there's other ladies being recognized." And it was so interesting when the tables turned around, and I wasn't expecting it all, but we were nominated, and we were the winners of the People's Choice. And she turned around, the 6-year-old, and she said, "I told you, Mom, I knew it." And it was so exciting to see a little 6-year-old spirit, that she truly believed that her mother, will get whatever she doesn't understand what we got, but to get to the thing. And she was so determined to go up with me and receive this award. But tell me, well, tell our community about the awards, and who do you it's not who do you look for, but actually who do you appreciate in this environment. And it's only, I mean, this year you have expanded, I believe you've
Yes.
expanded the categories, yeah, and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the geographical expansion was there as well. So tell
Yep.
us a little bit. And
Yeah.
ladies, if you're listening, and if you Gold Coast Twitch, just yeah, again, I will post the link, and if you if you want to nominate someone, please do so.
Yeah, thank you. So basically, the Heart of Women Awards started when I won Woman of the Year back in 2014. So back then, Tweed Valley Women's Services ran the Wonders of Women Awards, and they had a domestic violence centre, and then they were running this to recognise inspirational women in the community. And I won Woman of the Year that year. After that, that service was cut and the refuge was closed.
Mm.
So it was a great devastating loss to our community. And the women were obviously devastated after 30 years of working in domestic violence in the area and not knowing how they were going to get supported. And I had, been a part of that awards that year and seen the value of recognising all these inspirational women out there doing it. And being a woman myself who started a charity and knowing how hard it is, and that you just don't get a pat on the back, and that you can have days that are just emotional after emotional after emotional, and you need more support with this, that I really wanted to keep it going. So I went and spoke to these ladies that had been running it and said, would it be stepping on your toes if I was to take it over for Agape? And they were so excited that something could live on from what they had started. They helped me run
Yeah.
it the first year. So we tweaked it and we made it the Heart of Women Awards. So, and I made it to the geography that Agape works. So we've gone from Tweedshire and the Gold Coast to include Byron Bay now, and Brisbane area
Yes, Byron Bay,
also. Yeah.
yes. Hmm.
So more of a geography. And basically it is to encourage women to make a difference in the community. Now that could be women that are employed and are already making a difference, but do that little bit more.
Hmm.
Or it could be someone like myself who started from, nothing and built a charity and grown it from there. And, for me as a woman who's out there with the homeless every day, I love the opportunity to get dressed up once a year. I
Yes.
love the opportunity to rub shoulders with all these inspirational women. And, the connections that we make within that to me are just, like yourself. And we had Jordana Edwards, Clean Tea from Byron Bay, was the winner of Entrepreneur. And we've just had, I think I said to you earlier, I've been sitting there reading the nominations that are coming in, bawling my eyes out, because there are so many beautiful women being nominated. And you know what? I want to hang out with them. I really do.
Mm, mm, mm. I don't know. I also, and again, this is just something came to mind, and that's what happens. We kind of steer in one direction, but then one word will trigger something else. I don't know, you might know her, but I met a lady, Robin, can't remember her surname, but I will send you her contacts. She's actually based in Brisbane, but
Mm.
she spent over 40 years helping big businesses, big boys, to get all the grants that are available from the government. And
Wow.
then one day she decided to say, from my understanding, look, that's it. I'm actually going to help the little guys.
Yeah.
And she is helping small businesses to get the grants. And she says, the money that is available for grabs is enormous. It's buckets of money. So it would be interesting for you. I will share the contact.
Yeah.
You might know her, but it would be interesting. I'm catching up with her next week as well. Would be interesting for you to see if there's some kind of avenues to kind of dip into this bucket of money that is sitting and available and the big boys are getting. That's why they don't need to worry, Woolies and Coles. That's why they don't need to worry about COVID. That's why they don't need to worry about
Yeah.
who's going to be coming or filling the shift, because they are covered for the next 5 years, from my
Hmm.
understanding. So it
Yeah.
would be interesting to see and get this introduction happen with you guys and see what
Yeah,
she can do.
definitely.
She's part of
Yeah.
us mompreneurs. She was the judge. She's the one who actually announced our gold for the night. So lovely,
Okay.
lovely lady.
Yeah. That'd be great. This was that, specialist skill sets that I was talking about with volunteers before. Applying for grants is very time consuming, and there's a
Yes,
technique to it. And the follow up, even if you get one, can be very taxing on you, time wise and emotionally.
yes,
So, having someone who knows what they're doing in that field makes a world of difference. And
yes,
having someone dedicated to it, not like myself running a whole organization, you just don't have the time to do it. So I do
no.
the odd grant here and there, but I have to admit I try and find the 10-minute ones, not the 40-hour ones.
Yeah, she did also say it's not what you write, it's how you write and how you present.
Exactly.
There's a
Yeah.
special lingo, and again, the follow-ups that I mean, for me, I have never done it, so I always ask someone. But just the overwhelm of following up and sitting and allowing the time
Yeah.
to put everything that you need, and we don't know what they need. We don't know the requirements. We don't know
Yes.
the all the bullet points that you have to tick, the
Hmm.
boxes. So yeah, it would be interesting. I'll make a note just because I
Yeah.
might forget. So I've got 2 names on my list.
That's
Great
great. That's
already.
wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank
and
you.
that's exactly. So yeah, so today is the last day to nominate, and as I said, I'll
Yes.
post the link because obviously you've expanded to Byron Bay, and honestly, you
Brisbane.
can nominate yourself. You don't.
Yep.
What I've learned as well over the years with nominations is it's okay to nominate yourself, just
Hmm.
because we are shy to ask someone to please can you do, and but at the same time, especially like with you guys, you're quite thorough. You require at least 250 words to
Yep.
describe, and no one knows better than you or your staff members or your community what really is the fire inside you, what really actually drives you through all these years and why you're doing what you're doing.
Yes.
So if you are listening and watching, nominate yourself. If you know you've got a voice and that voice needs to be heard, please go ahead and do it. Don't think it's selfish and by nominating yourself. You're doing good to the community. So
You'll hear me say every year at the awards that I get told, oh, but it's not about me winning an award. And I say to people, please step over that. Whatever your cause is, whatever the difference is that you're making, make it about that. It
exactly.
is worthy of that community awareness. It is worthy of having more people come on board. We want to make a difference. I'm sure we want to make a difference for more than one person. And
Mm,
that's only going to happen when we start becoming a community and working together. So we
mm,
really need to step over that. I don't want people to look at me and start going, well, look at what I'm doing. Look at the change that we
exactly.
can make, and be inspired enough to stand beside me and do it with me.
Exactly, exactly.
Mm.
I think with us and what we do, I had to kind of overstep, like you said, I had to cross that bridge and
Yes.
think because yes, I'm running a business. Business needs to be profitable. Are we employing people? We've got nutritionists and naturopaths sitting now at the desk creating
Mhm.
the job, the programs. But at the same time, if we go back, we have women who older than me, 40, 45, 48 now. For the first time in life, they actually met a partner. They fell in love because of what we have provided. And you know what? Weight loss, and I always say, has a bad rap, but at the same time, people don't like talking about it. But every single woman knows when and how and what she needs to do. And deep inside, she knows that that's exactly what's precluding her from standing a little bit taller and going
Mhm.
on that date or buying that dress. Because when
Mhm.
you're not confident, and confidence is a really fine fine thing to catch, and when you have that a little bit of confidence, you don't know what's going to come up the next year, what it's going to give you, what inspiration, what door you can open to walk through and do exactly, something like you're doing. For example, we had
Yeah.
women who left abusive relationships because they thought, shit, I'm worthy, I
Yeah.
deserve better, and I need to walk out. We had
Yeah.
women who cured their illnesses and got off the medication. And sometimes, yes, it's not about me standing there and getting gold or whatever it is, or recognition. It's for the community. And when the community sees that you are recognized, it's so much easier to like, come to us, we can help you, or they can help you, or I know of Theresa, or we can refer you. So it's I totally agree with you, but it did take a little bit of thinking and convincing,
Yeah.
look and actually watching other women being empowered by that. It's fantastic. But I need to say what I loved about you guys as well. I have a very supportive husband, and I don't know, but
Yes.
couple of nights ago, I shared my first reel on my private Instagram page. I don't do reels. I have no idea how to do them, but I got inspired by Osmompreneurs, some of the
Yeah.
women. And I'm like, okay, let's do the reel. And it's so addictive. I think I spent like an hour, which is totally a waste of time. But at the same time, I had a message behind. And
Mm.
the reel was talking about strong women. So women who have the voice, women who have something to say. If someone says, oh, it's too much, you're too much for me, does it mean I have to be smaller? I have to be quieter? And then my caption was, for women like me or you, we have two choices: either to have a bloody supportive partner or no partner at all, right?
Yeah.
So
I would agree.
yeah, and what I loved, going back to what I see, I've attended two of the nights with you on two occasions, and I love the way your husband talks about you, how he looks at you, and the work that you do. So for me, that's like a seal the deal. When I see that, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, it's so beautiful when a man is actually involved. So how involved is he now? So tell me a little bit that part, because my husband, he's running his own business, but he's
Yeah.
99% here with me, standing by me, with me, and pushing me forward.
Well, okay, I might do a bit of damage here, but look, he started off as a volunteer before I married him,
Yeah,
and as all males do, he got the ticket to, oh, I don't have to volunteer anymore. I've got her. So, but in the same circumstances, he is in the background, and I probably find myself almost daily now going, encourage me, pick
yeah,
me up, tell me what I need to hear. So,
mm,
and, he's just so handy, if he goes down and fix a block pipe or something like that at the center, it's not like he's on stage beside me, but at the same time, he's in the background being the backbone for me, if that's the right
yeah,
wording to use.
yeah,
So it's sort of hard to qualify because it's behind the scenes, but I wouldn't want to be without him.
yeah, yeah. I feel that, and
Yeah.
I think, you know what, I think men need to be recognized for for doing their part, being
Yeah.
behind the scenes, even though I don't like this word, to be honest, especially when it comes in the conversation with men or about men. But they are the driving force in your case and in my case.
Yeah.
And with them, knowing that they're there and they believe in us. I remember my husband would tell me years ago I should be doing something that I'm doing today, and I would say, my God, you're insane, I would never be able to do that. Or run a live,
Yeah.
for example. I'm like, oh, my accent, people don't understand me. He's like, it's not what how you sound, it's what you say that matters. And that's how we progress. So I totally, like, for me it was beautiful to see, and I love that scene, and I remember that picture. But now
That's
tell me a little bit about SBN. So you started the Spring Detox Challenge. How difficult was it for you? And again, I want to hear about your day. So what does your day look like, and what did it look like when you did SBN?
well, less emotional eating, put it that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah,
Look, what I do is very emotional, and I have to admit that I have all these wonderful addictions, which usually involve stuff that I shouldn't be eating. So, speaking of my husband, where's the camera?
oh
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
me.
that's him, yeah.
Yeah, but that's me last
Oh,
Christmas.
but the photo of you, oh wow.
So, one of my stepdaughters bought us this cruise on the Brisbane River, and she got me the photo afterwards, and that was my turning point of, oh my God, I just can't do this. This isn't good. So I've just
Mm,
gotten so large. So I keep this photo on my fridge now to remind me of, what happens if I keep emotionally eating and
yeah,
having those couple of drinks every night because I've earned it, the talk that we give
yeah,
ourselves.
absolutely, yeah.
So, and at the start of the year, basically, I set out because I put on 22 kilos since I got married to lose that again. And I have lost 17 kilos this year, which I'm excited about. With the Dressed in Love challenge, I lost 9.1 kilos on that. And it really was what I needed in the end because I was, I suppose, dragging my feet.
Mm,
So the emotional toll and the habits I've got myself into were really making it hard to lose weight, even though I'd done, bits and pieces and I was on the right track. I really did need this program to bring me back to the basics
yeah,
again, to
yeah.
be able to go, you know what, you can eat a small amount and see it as filling and
Mm,
nutritious and plain, but at the same time meeting your needs.
mm-hmm,
So, and for someone who's done shakes and tablets and everything under the sun for weight loss, I have to say that while I did get hungry at times, I didn't get as hungry as I have done on other things.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it never really was that hard.
Mm. So
The
what kept
hardest
you
part was,
going? Because as I said before, you were quite consistent in a group, and it was
yeah,
really lovely for me to see, knowing how busy you are. But it was always like, oh, she's posted, so she's still doing it great, And we're kind of cheering you at the back in the back of my head. But it was. I understand it's challenging. It's bloody difficult, especially when you are cooking meals and you're running around for
yeah.
everyone else. So, what kept you going? What was your North Star?
Well, to start off with my health. So after, that shock at Christmas, I decided to, because I had hypertension, high blood pressure, sign up for a hypertension study through the university. And
Mm,
that gave me a PT to help with these sessions while measuring my blood pressure. And the first time we did it, it took 12 minutes to get me in the heart attack zone. And I couldn't
it's
believe it.
nothing.
I really couldn't believe it. I wasn't even breaking a sweat yet. This was 12 minutes of just brisk walking. And I thought, I'm the type of person that would go to a gym and run in that aerobic session until I can't breathe and I have an asthma attack because I'm stubborn and I'm determined to do
Yeah.
stuff. And I had no idea that I was now at the stage unhealthily enough that I could actually die from that. So that was a real shock to my system. And I thought, I can't do this. I've got to change that. I've got to improve my health and I've got to get back on track again. So basically, over the 9.1 kilos that I've lost over this Dressed in Love section, my blood pressure is now high normal. I'm off the
Mhm,
medication and I'm no longer at risk.
mm.
And so
That's
um,
amazing.
ecstatic about that, and as I said, it was like I was dragging my feet before, losing a bit, losing a bit, losing a bit, but the blood pressure was still up there,
Yeah.
and it wasn't moving fast enough. I really do think I needed so many learning curves from the Slim by Nature to give back the hope, to give back the this is possible. I think I said in one of my comments, I really didn't think small was possible without starvation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and doing Slim by Nature has proven to me that yes, you can eat less and not be starving. You get used to it and not be starving and lose considerable good amounts of weight, probably more than I've ever lost any other system.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm 4 kilos off of my pre-wedding weight now. So what was that, 18, 17.1 kilo I've lost. So, and I put on 22. So about 4 kilos off of where I
Kilos.
wanted to be, but I've actually decided that I want to lose another 10.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as I said to you earlier, I'm having a break now. Christmas is
Yeah.
around the corner. I want to focus on a little bit of maintenance and normality in life at the moment,
Mm.
still living. And then I'm going to be doing another round again in Christmas because I'm going to look so hot by the next Harder Women Awards in March. I have the dress all
Hey. Yeah.
planned.
When is it? Is it May? It's around March, yeah?
March,
Women's Day,
yeah.
8th of March. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, yeah, but for beyond myself, I've always wanted an athletic body.
Mm.
And it's just been an image in my head, and my mindset really would never was, this is possible for you.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this
Mm-hmm.
program has helped me reset that stuff. And don't get me wrong, there's so much in my head that needs to be cleaned up. I still want to run to that glass of wine at the end of the day when I've had a crap day. I still want to, it's a wet day, run for the comfort food. So, but I do believe every time I make a shift, even 5 degrees in the right direction, it's making a change in my life for good. And
Mm.
looking back, I've had a whole year of improvements.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the new year of more improvements, getting me closer to that athletic body and looking how I want to look.
Mm. And also, what I've also noticed with me, and that's, as I said to you earlier, that's why I started the business. It was accidental, really accidental.
Yeah.
Um, I think the car accident is actually affecting me. I'm losing my thoughts. Oh my God, what's happening to me? Like I'm having this massive headache from the back. So, but um, I'm gonna catch a breath. Just let me be because
Have you got a water? Have a drink.
I've got water. I will come back to it. But I was going to say, did you nominate yourself? You should be up there with with all the nominees standing next year.
I
That's
am up there as the host.
the
I
host.
can't
Yeah.
nominate myself in my own award.
No.
So
Yeah.
I do enter awards myself for publicity, and I actually did win an award this week, which I'm very excited about.
Oh, which one?
Yeah, so I'm at Southern Cross University studying psychology, and I
Yeah.
actually won the Student Excellence Award for the year.
Oh my God. So when
Yeah,
do you study? Tell me.
in the wee hours.
That's insane. It's funny how, you push and you push and you push. So how long have you got to go? So is it a bachelor degree?
It's a bachelor, so I've got 3 subjects to go, but they're only offering it over the whole year, those 3 subjects. So it'll still take
Oh.
me another year to finish the bachelor. I intend of going the whole way, so I have multiple years still ahead of me and a lot of work to go. But I really didn't, I never finished grade 12. I finished at grade 10, and I never really, I suppose, another mind shift, thought that I could handle university or would be smart enough. Doing statistics and algebra and all this stuff. I've never done any of that, but you be resourceful and you find a way. You learn how to do it and you step up and you make that challenge. And every time we clock up something and you say, you know what, I did that. I didn't think I could, and I did that. We can take it to another level.
Mm,
So I am looking forward to ticking these things off and, going, well, if I didn't succeed and I didn't get there, well, I fell with grace and did
mm,
well on the way. So, and it's looking like I'm going to be getting my bachelor at least. Bring on honours. Let's
Well,
try masters.
congratulations.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And then you've got honors. So you're going to go
Yeah,
top of the top. Yeah.
yeah,
And this will help you, I suppose, with everything that you do. So this would be so enormously helpful for your community.
yeah.
You
For
would-
my own mental health, for my staff, for my volunteers, for my clients. It's also my retirement plan. I work a lot. I can't run forever. So at some
gosh.
point, I'm going to have to sit down, and getting a kick out of messing with people's heads will be right the cup of tea for me.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. I love it. Yes, it's interesting when my husband is turning 50 this year or next year,
Yeah,
and he talks quite often about retirement and what we should have in order to retire. And when I first met him, he almost scared me. Like, oh my God, you're crazy. We can't be talking. I'm still young, I still have a whole
yeah,
life. But the time flies and we need to be thinking about that. And with, as I said, with everything that's happening, you never know what's gonna be, what's stable anymore. But service, I believe service, providing a service, it's something that will always be in demand. So yeah.
definitely, definitely. Things might take a long time. Like I might be looking at 10 years before I'm a qualified psychologist, and it'll be 4 before I even finish the bachelor. But the thing is, time flies regardless.
Exactly.
We're just got to
Exactly.
start.
Yeah. A lot of people, what's the saying? A lot of people underestimate what they can achieve in 1 year and
Yeah,
overestimate what they can achieve in 1 year and underestimate what they can achieve in 5 years. And
yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, look, let me just
Awesome.
quickly check. I have no idea what the time is, 7:36. So we've been chatting for just over an hour. I am I'm inspired again.
Yeah,
Personally, I am inspired again. I think, and it's a perfect time just before Christmas. So everyone who's watching, who will be watching a replay, I'll put a little snippet of what we have talked about. I'll put the links of the book as well, and I'll take a photo. And as I said, if you are interested, um, we'll come up with the code so you can actually use the code in your next order, and this will come for free. Is that I don't want to give it out for free just because I want it to actually be meaningful. It could be a Christmas night reading for some, and it's quite inspirational, and it will definitely open your eyes. From my side of things, I know what I can do. I know where I stand, and it would be great to actually. I don't want to say help you guys because it's not really helping you guys. It's actually creating a better future, a better present for some. So
yeah, yeah. It's about being involved yourself and
yeah.
making a difference in a new way.
Yeah, wonderful. Well,
Yeah,
look, thank you so much for really for allowing for this hour to happen. And we will be in touch. We'll catch up again. And I will see you. If I don't see you in between now and then, I'm sure I'll see you in March sometime.
yeah,
And looking forward to seeing your new dress too, by the way.
yeah. Thank you,
And you'll be
Zhanna.
dressed in love. Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you so much for allowing me to speak here and for being a part of the Slim by Nature program. Like we said
Yeah.
before about inspirational women encouraging others. If you didn't come to those awards for the Heart of Women Awards, I would never have found Slim by Nature.
Mm-hmm.
So a
Mm-hmm.
couple of my stepdaughters have actually done it, and I'd never heard of it
Yeah.
until I brought it up.
Yeah.
So, in that scenario, I am accrediting my weight loss to reduce my hypertension, which to me is
Mm-hmm.
life changing through being through this program. So,
Mm-hmm.
don't underestimate the power of what you're doing and the eyes that are seeing that, because that is life changing for other people. And
Mm-hmm.
thank you for letting me be a part of this little bit of it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll let you go. I'll quickly wrap up and I will be in touch, as I said. But ladies, thanks, Theresa. I'll just quickly remove, not sure how to, oh, here we go. Thank you, ladies, who, if you watched us, if you have any questions, at all. As I said, today was not just about what we do and what's new with us. I think we walking into this spirit of Christmas and spirit of giving. So it's perfect time to actually stop and think and look around. I think being aware of our surroundings and seeing people. And another beautiful thing, what I've learned as well, let's practice looking people in their eyes. A lot of times we shy away from whatever. But I think when you actually connect with someone's eyes, you can go onto the deeper level of conversation, and some magic might happen. So I really encourage you even for the next 5 days, start looking people in their eyes and ask yourself what you feel when you're actually having that exercise. But again, back to SBN, 30% is finishing tonight. Do ask any questions. Do leave your reviews. We do have Trustpilot account, so if you do feel like leaving a couple of good words, please jump on our Trustpilot Slim by Nature site and leave your review. And I can't wait. Honestly, I'm inspired. I've got lots of ideas, and we've got amazing team behind us, and all the women that we meet along the way, women from the community, Slim by Nature community, who are becoming our friends and also help us move and become and be part of the movement that we do. It's quite inspirational. So if you want to share your experience with SBN with your friends, please do so. That we always welcome that. I'll leave you alone now. Have a good night. It's Friday. Oh, it's Friday. No, it's Tuesday. Friday's yet to come. It's Tuesday night. Drive safely. Be careful on the roads. We've got terrible rains here. And I will see you on Sunday to announce our 3 winners for the challenge. Good night, ladies.